Welcome to the Mystic Love Lounge podcast. So today we're going to do a reaction to a video that we seen. Well, we seen reaction videos to the video.
Yeah, reaction videos.
So what made us want to do? We're gonna go to the actual video and start at the issue. And should I call it the issue? And we're gonna
Why call
play
it?
it because you'll say it's an issue.
It's an issue.
And we're gonna play the whole thing because we wanted to get the whole concept of it, and then we're gonna give our take, our advice, our thoughts on what we heard.
You guys do that? Why do y'all wild out even though you love somebody so much?
Because sex isn't connected to love necessarily. So it's like when you're doing that, like you're not necessarily looking at it as, oh, this has anything, like the two aren't related. You get what I'm saying? Like, and honestly, I'm gonna say this, like, and I'm probably, hey, whatever, here it is. I feel like women should give men that are faithful credit for that. Like, women will act like it's the same thing as a woman being faithful, and it's like it's not the same thing. Like, honestly, it's not. And I just feel like you get a little bit of credit for that. Like, I do.
But look, you know, so wait, Ryan, let me ask you this though.
Get credit for that.
Since love and sex aren't
Pump your
connected,
chest up if you want.
No, only reason I say I feel him. I'm sorry, you go ahead.
when you're cheating though, you don't think about your girl. Like you don't. It doesn't even.
What?
Like you never feel.
cruel, evil
You never
person
feel
would
guilty
think
like while
that?
you're doing
This
it.
is getting
Like
awkward for me. No, I have felt guilty, but it's like it's also like you thinking about like, okay, this is the only life that I have to live. Like, am I really gonna like especially when you're in a relationship young, you like, okay, I'm 22 and I'm in this relationship, like, but I'm 22. Like, I want to experience things, but I also don't want to lose this girl because I love her to death. You know what I mean? And so the two really aren't connected. I'm just trying to live, but at the same time, if I tell you that I want to live, then you're going to leave. So now here comes my selfish side, and I'm going to choose to kind of do me, but still try to keep the relationship and try to keep it respectful. And that's why I said, like, once I started feeling like I was getting disrespectful with it was when I left, because I was like, I never want to be disrespectful with that, even though I know women going to be like, cheating is disrespectful anyway. But yeah, I never
did
want
she
to
ever
be.
cheat on you? That you know?
Not to my knowledge, but I'm the type of nigga, like, I don't ask questions I don't want to know the answers
Yeah,
to.
married
Yeah.
woman.
Really? So you ain't never asked, yo.
All right.
All right. So
Well, we can definitely say that there are two sides to this whole ordeal, so
yeah.
we
So,
can be open-minded about it.
what it was is I saw other reaction videos to what he said, but I only seen or heard like little snippets of what he said was the part that women should give men credit for not cheating. And I wanted to kind of go back and watch to see the whole context of that, to see if like what led up to that conversation kind of explained his point of view to kind of like soften the blow. But even no,
You
like
said
even
soften the blow.
because
well,
it's like
damn.
it felt like a fucking punch, like disrespectful. But like even watching the whole thing, like at first it's kind of like okay, I kind of get, but then it was like the more he talked, it kind of like didn't help. You know what I'm saying? Like I think he overdid it. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to give my viewpoint on his comments. What's his name? Reasons Speak.
Reason speak.
Kind of reminds me of Spoken Reasons, but okay. Other than that, I just don't even know who he is, first of all. But
Yeah.
I will say I like the fact that he did admit to the selfish aspect of the cheating and basically you wanting to be, you're young, you kind of want to live your life, but yet you don't want to lose this person, and that definitely is a selfish aspect of that part. And then he said he got to the point to where he left because he just didn't want to be, what did he say, disrespectful. And then he said, even though people are gonna say that he was disrespectful for cheating, like, which is true, like, you know you were disrespectful, that's why you kind of came back and followed with, even though people are gonna feel he was being disrespectful in the cheating aspect, like, because you knew you was being disrespectful. But I kind of want to know, like, your take on.
Well, I don't find respect in, literally like breaking somebody's heart, want to go out there and do dumb shit like that. But I think it was more so from like power and credibility type of deal,
Yeah.
and a lot of times we have those issues and it can come from things that we've actually experienced in our past, at our younger years, but the part where he said that he feel like, someone should receive credit or, somebody should give credit for not cheating. That part, no, because the way I see it, and I'm not saying like don't acknowledge anyone about it. I mean, a lot of people like to be recognized for the good that they do.
That part.
Especially if you come from an area, you know, like if you were one of those that, you know, children growing up, and every time you look up, you know, somebody is always discrediting you for some things, or mentioning faults or blaming you, you know, for things, especially if it really didn't have anything to do with you, begin to like crave for that type of attention, to be, you know, somebody to give you credit for something, you know, that you're doing right. So I would say that's more so, you know, on a credibility side,
or ego.
Credit.
Like,
it can also be ego, but I can't say that it's ego if you can admit you're wrong in the process.
I mean, but if you can also admit that it's ego too.
But he said he will leave if it gets disrespectful. Now, we kind of are different. We like with the. Let me tell you what with that. If you're going to cheat, why not just end the thing altogether?
Yeah, if you feel like you're young and you need to live your life, why not just like, okay, I'm too young for something serious. If you keep it like 100 in the beginning with a female, then it's easier for us to be like, okay, we're nothing. We're just dealing with each other, learning each other. And if it turns into something serious, then hey, we're serious.
I mean,
but once you made that commitment to be monogamous, be that.
Right,
but if it ever changes, you gotta have open communication. Be like, okay, I'm not feeling this. I'm young. I want to live my life, but I still want you in my life. Can we at least just be friends? Or I feel like give that other person the option to stay there or to not stay there because they don't want to wait for you to grow up.
And I agree, because I believe that that's more so, you know, the most respectful thing that you could actually do. Instead of leading someone on thinking that, you know, they're going to have this big white house with a picket fence type of fairy tale dream, just be upfront. If you know that you're not going to commit to the relationship or be monogamous, you know, be who you are, but just don't lead anybody, you know, don't lead them on.
I feel like this day and age is more common and more acceptable to have a poly relationship. Like, I don't see anything wrong with it if that's what's established up front.
Right, as long as you got that understanding.
The problem with a lot of people is they want their cake and they want to be able to eat it too. It's like, okay, I want us to be poly, but I don't want you doing shit. We not boyfriend and girlfriend, but you can't deal with nobody else.
So it's like you're claiming a relationship and a marriage, but you're not doing your part to fully commit to it.
But you expect the other person to completely comply to what you think that, you know, like when he said that I don't ask questions I don't want to know the answers to, basically. Like, I don't want to know if she cheated. It's over with now. You know you cheated, so like if she did cheat, would there be a problem?
And a lot of times those feelings tend to draw up because chances are that's some shit you've already done. So that guilt behind you, or whatever, you know, is in your head at that present moment as far as what you've done, now you're putting this other person in a position as if they're going to do it or they are doing it. And then it tends to, so then it begins to be weight and guilt rising on you. So it tends to put you in an uncomfortable position. So what do you do next? You try to find something to justify your actions or make you feel good about it in case things go left.
But I also feel that's another ego issue as well. It's like I don't want to distort this image of this person that I basically put on the shelf, even though I was out there fucking up. Just in case I ever want to mature enough and come back to this person, I don't want that distorted image of them, of perfection or whatever kind of image you have of that person in my head, not realizing that person probably needs to grow up too. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that person gave you room enough to allow yourself to grow up, how come you can't give that person that room enough to say that they were young too, and maybe they need to grow up too? But I feel like society puts a lot of pressure on women to be the more mature ones, the more, like, even you can get two people that are the same age, right? They expect the woman to deal with and put up with more shit at a younger age than they would put on a man. And I'll give you some examples. And I think it goes all the way back to multiple generations back, how, you know, a lot of men, I would say even my starting with my dad, my granddad, like all of them have like multiple baby mamas, multiple families, you know what I'm saying? But the woman stood there and stood by their side the whole time, like, and took them back, even though he done went out with her best friend and had kids, the whole fucking family with the friend. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's a lot of pressure from society for a woman to be a certain way, but in a lot of ways we don't hold the other sex to the same standards, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree in to an extent on that, because that's more so like let's put the shoe on the other foot. You know, it may not be described or explained the same way, but there's also a heaviness that's put on men too, you know, especially black men. You know, we've seen what's been put out there, you know, as far as black men, you know, it's like we're held to a certain standard as well. So when it comes down to you know, relationships and, you know, things like that, you know, there tends to be, you know, this white and then this black side. And it's like we, you know, as men and women, we try to push to, you know, satisfy both ends. So where I'm getting at is, you know, when men are held to a certain standard, like, you know, stepping up to the plate, being a father or being committed to a relationship, you know what I'm saying? There are certain aspects of a man that people have this very high demand on, or they're deadbeats, or they're considered, you know, the problem as to why kids don't grow up, you know, being responsible. They say, hey, it's the dad. You know, so we tend to deal with that too. So it
basically trying to prove yourself.
Yeah, trying to prove yourself.
Trying to do the opposite and just be what somebody is.
Be what somebody is called. Yeah, because, you know, in the eyes of the next person, it's like trying to satisfy, you know, them
society.
Through what they want to, through what they want to see, or through their eyes. And then we find, and then we find ourselves getting in a position where we feel like, you know, it just gets to a point, fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying to an extent, but I also understand when does it get to the point to where those men take accountability for their own actions and not be able to blame outside sources for how they turn out. Like, I get when you have a lot of pressure and you get a lot of slack from society, and growing up as a black man in this society, how hard it can be. I understand that, but then you have to understand that, like, once you become an adult, you have the choice to choose to let what you've been through make you, or to make something out of what you've been through.
Exactly. It's either going to make you better or it's going to break you.
Period.
And honestly, that was one of my first, you know, challenges when, you know, I reached out to you, because I was either going to take what I've been through and allow it to make me a better man, or it could just, you know, it could have destroyed me, and I could have just been for the worst. Because now I'm gonna apply what he said, and I'm gonna use that, you know, as far as us. Okay. So when we first got together, you know what I'm saying, before we even made it official that this was going to be in a relationship, before we said you're mine, I'm you, and all that, I made one statement to you, because that was something that I've never done in any of my other relationships. And the statement that I made, I said, either she's going to accept me for who I am, or I can just keep it moving the way I am, not every other man. That right there said a lot when I told you that. You know, the look on your face. But I was coming from a place of, I know you've been what you've been through, and I've been through what I've been through. However, this connection that we have here, this is newness, wholeness. You see what I'm saying? So even in our relationship, after being together more than 12 years now, it's not that I made a demand that you give me credit for being a good father. That's something I came with the intention of, to be a good man, to be a good father. Everything that I've been through growing up as a child, you know, that was an experience, and I can either use that experience to make me better, or I can just repeat the process.
Exactly.
Which you already knew once we stood at this table, before we sat down at this table called a relationship. I had some bags. I had some charts. So I presented charts. I presented this bag. This is me. You have the option now. If you want,
the ball was in my court.
The ball was in your court. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly. And then I think what actually helped us in our relationship was that I had bags too.
Yeah.
The thing is, a lot of people, they recommend that you heal yourself before getting into a relationship, which I recommend the same thing. You definitely don't want to come into a relationship with baggage. It's gonna make it hella hard.
Yeah.
But I think it worked. For us, it made us hella strong. You know what I'm saying? We both came in with issues from childhood or previous relationships, but we didn't let that take over, and we didn't let that make us. Like, the whole energy behind our marriage was so different than anything else that it had no choice but to excel.
Because when we both came together, it was like, you know, knowing what we know now, if we'd applied that to the beginning of our relationship, it was like red and blue coming together to make purple.
Yeah.
This red side, this blue side, this masculine, this feminine come together to make this ultimate royalty type of deal. You know, we both had fuck gender.
Fuck boy, fuck girl
fuck
type
boy,
of
fuck
energy.
girl. We both had fuck gender.
Yeah,
You know,
it just wasn't like the type that was with the cheating bullshit. We wasn't on no stuff like that. But we were like, we were young. We were 23, but I never would use that as an excuse to why I would go out and do some dirty shit. Like, if I'm coming out of one marriage and like literally hopped right into another one, I didn't get into that one to be on some fuck shit. I didn't get into that one to break up. I didn't get into that for a divorce. I didn't get in that one to do physical fighting and none of that bullshit. I didn't want none of that shit. I've learned from my first marriage what I didn't want. Now it was time to realize what I wanted and go for it. And I felt like we came together young, but we grew together to something that's become so amazing and so powerful. And as far as acknowledging the fact that you don't do something that is supposed to be accepted, I don't believe that I should have to acknowledge, baby, thank you for not cheating on me today. Baby,
You know,
thank
so
you for
I'm
not
not gonna
cheating
even
on
lie.
me.
And I'm
Listen, I don't feel like that's necessary. However, as your wife who wants to build my king up, I'm going to be like, oh, babe, I just love you. I love the way you rub my hair. I love the way you give me back rubs randomly. I love the booty rubs. I love the way that you play with the kids. Like, you literally will get down there and wrestle. I love all this shit. I love how you randomly take walks. I love how you can watch a movie 11 times and still laugh at the funny parts. I love that shit. Like, I can point out those things and I can build you up. Oh, babe, you look very handsome today. I love you. I love this shit that you do. Like, I can build you up in other ways without acknowledging negative shit that you're not doing. Like, there's no reason for me to point out you're doing a good job. It's not like you're a fucking drug addict. You need a cookie.
Yeah.
You didn't do drugs today. I'm so proud of you. Like, that's not the same fucking thing.
Let's be completely honest. The way how you just put that out there, it makes a whole lot of sense. And I'm gonna say this is why. When you build a person, that word build, a lot of people tend to take that out of context. Thinking that they got to put in the extra work to do a bunch of shit that they don't feel like doing.
Exactly.
But sometimes you have to look at this like, to get the man that you would consider perfect, you have to put your input. You have to stand in and build.
Yeah.
And
that's
honestly,
true. Words have power.
That's what I'm saying. So honestly, when you present it how, you know, you give credit where credit is due, let's just say if you did, out of the blue, we're sitting there eating, having dinner, eating whatever, you know, lasagna, pasta, whatever. And you say, baby, I thank you for not cheating on me. I'm going to stop what I'm doing. I'm going to be in my head all fucking out like, why the fuck would she say that?
Right.
Like, did I do something? Like, let me be completely honest. I will be looking at you
like I did something.
Yeah, like you just, I'm looking at you side eye like a motherfucking dog. You know what I'm saying? Like how them dogs look when they hear a weird noise. Like, why the fuck would you say that?
Exactly.
But to acknowledge it because of what you witnessed, what you experienced, you know what I'm saying? Like, that makes more sense to do it that way. But see, here's the thing. If it was already there, would you really have to do it like that? People, it's like people tend to think that you have to come in a relationship all perfect. That's the reason that this man may not be for you, that woman may not be for you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It takes building. That's the building side, because when you can learn each other, and growing together,
learning
when you
how
can do
to
those things together,
coexist. Learning those love languages, what you like, what I like, what I don't like, what you don't like, and coexisting without giving up ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Because let's be honest, I walk the fuck away. I don't like booty rubs. Don't rub my goddamn booty. You can rub my back. I like back rubs. I like the fact that you go the extra, even though you be like tired, you be bum ass tired, but you'll still get in that kitchen and fix the family something to eat. I love that about you. I really do. When I come in the room, be like, babe, what's wrong? It's gonna be all right. And you rubbing my back and shit like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? That shit feel good as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Or when I've had a really bad day at work, or I've had because once I leave the house, you're taking on the world. When I come back home, you never know what type of pressure I've been under or anything like that. But for you to sit there and say, baby, it'll be all right. When I'm feeling at my worst, it's not about what you have to come along and fix. It's just the fact that you're standing there to let me know that you got my back. Yeah, I love that. You know what I'm saying? Even if you had high hopes where you wanted $1 million mansion and you wanted the moon, the stars. In my mind, I'm getting that shit for you. But in the physical, if I wasn't able, it makes me feel good to know that you're still there and you still got my back. And it's not about what I can buy or present to you on an open table. You still got my back no matter what, if I was able or unable. Now, when it comes down to cheating, that's some shit I brought on myself. I can't expect you to just be there, but that matters to me to know that you won't skip out on me, because at that point in time I was unable. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. That's something that I really appreciate. You know what I'm saying? And that you're a full-fledged mother. I can hand you, $1,000 to budget with that, and I know you're gonna do the right thing. If I was to leave home, I know you're gonna hold down a fort while I'm away. You see what I'm saying? So those are the things that I appreciate. Yeah, those are things that should be acknowledged instead of acknowledging the negative aspects of things, because that can also create self-doubt and self-confidence. It can kind of push down that self-confidence when you're always just bringing up the negativity. Right. Just let's say if I had ever dealt with depression, right? Or whatever, and I was just always down, but then in the future I'm always happy, and you just randomly bring out, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you for not being depressed today. What do you think that's gonna put in my head? That's like looking at okay. Yeah, right. So you sitting there looking sideways and shit. So it's damn, you just planted that seed. Now I'm depressed because you said right. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said honestly, that's what it would actually do. Negative anymore, damn, babe, you did good today. Look, you brung in them G's, the couple G's today. I'm proud of you. Do that shit. Don't be like, well, damn, baby, I'm proud that you're not broke no more. Yeah, that how you feeling sometimes. And on another note too, you made a couple G's in 24 hours. Good go, baby. Good. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, see, and from the opposite end, you feel good about that. Yeah. That person sees it and knows, and when that person acknowledges you for that. Shit, the next 24, let's do this again. It makes you want to do it again. So, even though coming from a lot of what I went through as a child growing up, you already knew that, I had some, rough patches, what I'm saying, from my past. But to see that you notice it, you just notice it. You notice that I'm doing the best that I can, what I'm saying, as a husband, as a father, what I'm saying, as a man in general. When you see that and you acknowledge it, it makes me want to continue to do it. It makes me want to even do better. You see what I'm saying? So that word building, starting off the foundation. The foundation is everything. And a lot of times when you're building, this foundation, it takes work. It does. And it's not always easy, because when you bring them bags and them charts to the table, you have a decision to make. So I think that what really helped us in the beginning, like I said, is we wasn't on that fuck gender type shit. we both have experienced some shit. Even though we were 23 years old, we both were mature for our age when we came together. And I think what we went through in the past got us to that point. Even in my first marriage, I don't regret nothing that I went through. Nothing, because everything that I went through
helped mold me into who I am today. My first marriage prepared me for my real marriage.
Yeah.
I call it first one like my pretend. That was kind of like practice.
See,
know?
I was never married
So-
before you, but it was like that's just what I wanted for me to be married.
I'm just
wanted a
saying,
wife,
like, there was
children.
relationships that you
And I would treat those like marriage.
Yeah.
I would treat them relationships like a marriage. You know, picking them up from work, dropping them off from work, picking them up from school, dropping them off from school. I mean, like what a married man would be doing. But somewhere along the line, it was like, I guess I didn't grasp the concept of, we're young, you know, we want to experience new things. I didn't have that in my head. It was like more so I wanted to be that married man. You know what I'm saying? So when I got with you, I knew what I wanted out of the relationship. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
So
but
I think that kind of helped with everything we have going on now, is because, like, let's say I was married the first time at 19, right?
Mm-hmm.
Too fucking young. But I kind of got coerced into doing it and didn't know how to just back out of it. And then the divorce happened when I was 23. Then me and you got married right away. Mm-hmm. But even so, in that first marriage, out of everything that I went through, and it was hard going through it at that time, like, I still don't have any regrets because it taught me a lesson in each one of those things. It taught me, like, look, next time don't stay that fucking long when you getting disrespected. Next time don't stay that long when you get cheated on.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Next time, like, you can basically teach somebody how to treat you by not fucking staying.
And that's also a part of building just as well.
Yes, that's building. Like, you're gonna learn to treat me the right way. If somebody's not treating you the right way, get the fuck on. Like, I don't know if I need to be cussing. Like, let me calm down. But I just feel like you just have to know your limits and stop accepting abuse just because you want that person to be there. You want to say I'm married. Like, I feel like even these days, like, people are using that term so loosely, like, just to have a name. Because you feel like you won just because somebody married you, but yet you married community dick. Like, there's no reason why you should brag about some shit like that. Like, if you want to share dick, cool, but don't be trying to act like you one-upped another female. You one-up the side chick because he's still dipping in the side chick.
Yeah. You
know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't one-up shit. You just got a fucking title. But I that's just me. But if you want to be poly, anything in a relationship, then that's cool too. It's some benefits in it. Like, if y'all sharing dick anyway, go ahead, move together, have separate rooms, share them bills, and then get ahead.
Do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? Like, all three of y'all bring something to the table. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not against poly. You know what I'm saying? Relationships or anything. I just don't understand. I know, like, with some men, it's like points. You know what I'm saying? It's like bragging rights or some shit. But, you know what I'm saying? I consider it as, like, that's a lot of fucking work. Like, you know what I'm saying? And what
you don't want to take a wife?
Well, what I mean, let me explain. Okay. What I mean by work is, you know what I'm saying, there are going to be times where one woman wants this at a certain time, then there's another woman if she's the AM shift, she's the PM shift. In between the two, you know what I'm saying, you working one or the other between them shifts. Where do you really have time for yourself?
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
I feel that.
But on another note, you know what I'm saying, if y'all are working together, collectively, you know what I'm saying, bills are getting paid, y'all taking vacations and spas, hell yeah, you know what I'm saying, like, it works.
So would you want a second wife?
Would I want a second wife?
Took you too long.
We have to be on. We'd have to be on. Listen. We'd have to be on a level where we both can cope with that. We both have to be comfortable with something like that, because honestly speaking, I don't think like a lot of dudes like that. That's the first thing I'm gonna be thinking about. Like, okay, what's gonna have to be done over here? This person has needs. This person has needs. You know what I'm saying? This person has wants. This person has one. There's a birthday. That's Christmas. Everything you have to do as far as, keeping, happiness in your home is what's going to count between everybody. And I'm coming from experience of a man, wife, and 4 children. So to have another adult stating what they're not going to do and stating all this attitude, talking, you know, crazy because they're in uncomfortable states, uncomfortable modes or whatever, sometimes that can be hard to do, especially if you just calm this one down. But like I said, if you guys work collectively, everybody working together, it all works out, you know what I'm saying? That's what makes it much more easier.
Yeah, I don't think it's for me at all to have a poly anything.
I know you're
the
not
thing
with
is,
it.
like, if we established that up front, then yeah. But like right now, like we even got into our system. I'm used to being the only one. I'm used to getting attention, and I'm used to getting my way, and I refuse to share that with.
And there's nothing wrong with
anybody.
that. There's nothing wrong with that because I refuse to come second to another dude.
Yeah, I already know that you just not.
You already know what's up, so. I respect that on your end as well.
Yeah.
Which I've never come to you and expected another woman to be a part of, you know, my, you know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem being, you know, having one woman, you know, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But I think that it's just more so like, you know, bragging rights, you know, because a man, multiple chicks, you know what I'm saying, he'll pimp. Woman, multiple niggas, she's a hoe. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with that being said, I think that's just more so like, you know, bragging rights and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but in the end, what do you take from it? How does it help you?
Yeah, the thing is that it's so unattractive from what I see. Like, cause you know I used to love the Sister Wives show, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was so horrible is I'm like, to me, like, you know, loyalty is always my number one thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
exactly.
you know, knowing that he was married to one wife first, but then the more wives he took on, it was like she became
a day of the week.
You know what I'm saying? It was just like you could just see her fading away.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt so bad for her because I'm just like, she grew up in that lifestyle. So she, you know, that was all she knew. But her husband didn't grow up in that lifestyle. She introduced it to him, and ultimately it seemed like it kind of bit her in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I just seen how depressed and stuff that she was, and it's like that's just not attractive, but I still like watching the show.
Mm-hmm.
And then another one, like, you know, from us knowing people that are in that lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen a successful polygamist or polyamorous relationship.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I feel like if you're going to go into that relationship, them finances need to be above on point. You got to be able to take care of the whole fucking thing. You know, y'all shouldn't even be fucking struggling. But from what me and you have seen,
mm-hmm.
like the polygamous relationship that we've seen, like it just was like, it make you question, like, why would you even get into something,
mm-hmm.
a situation that's
not
upgrading you?
Stable, for one.
Yeah, like, why would you get into something that's not gonna upgrade you and it's not gonna stabilize you or help you out? There's no benefits.
Mm-hmm.
You're just getting dick now or extra pussy. Like, I don't get it. Like,
sheets all together,
yeah, like, what is the benefit of you sharing it?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't get it. But I think that we've talked for enough. Like, we kind of went off all the way in left field. We done covered a whole lot of things, and
mm-hmm.
you know,
it's all good.
I think we did enough for today.
So, in a nutshell, starting off, if you're going to build that foundation, you know what I'm saying, you have your baggage, you know, your partner has their baggage. If you guys are willing to come together, work collectively together to, you know, make your relationship grow, make, you know, mature, help one another along the way, you know what I'm saying, do it from that standpoint. But if you feel as if that's something you don't want to deal with, that's completely fine. No one should hold it against you if you do not want to help build something with someone else. That is, you know, that's you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just keep in mind that, you know, when you're talking about the word building someone up, it doesn't necessarily mean help fixing all of the broken shit within them. Can we say shit on camera?
I said fuck, dick, pussy, all of that shit. So might have to leave it out.
Yeah. It's more so. It is more so of what you guys want, you know, as a relationship. What does the relationship want in the end? We know what you want. This person knows what they want. But as you come together, what does the relationship want? What do you guys see for yourself in the future? So think about that. Like and subscribe. Let us know what you think. And our next episode, we're going to be talking about communication.
All right, y'all. I'll let y'all later.